Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our daily Walking Dead Q&A video for today. In this one, we're going to start with me giving my thoughts on who would really win 1 versus 1, no help, no assistance, no teammates, no saviors, no survivors, between Rick and Negan. Who is the better fighter? And spoiler warning for the TV series as always, so thank you guys for continuing to send me all of your questions for the Q&As so we can keep making all kinds of awesome videos. This one is from Liam Takipoop. I like his name. And he says, if the fight between Rick and Negan goes down in the TV series, how do you think it's going to play out? Since Negan is not as physically threatening as he is in the comics, and Rick still has both hands, do you think the fight will favor towards Rick, be a close one, or would Negan win in all-out war? Then he gets into some comic book spoilers, so I'll stay away from those because there's quite a few spoiler phobes, and they get mad at me for posting covers and things like that. So, so for Liam, it's a great question. So one-on-one, who would actually win between Rick and Negan in the TV series version? I still think I have to give the advantage to Jeffrey Dean Morgan in terms of size. He's bigger than Andrew Lincoln by a bit, at least so far as I could tell from the TV series angles and everything. I don't know if he'd actually be stronger than him, but I think he's kind of supposed to be. If you think of it that way, he's supposed to be stronger than Andrew Lincoln's Rick. In terms of who's been through more, Rick has been through a ton, but I think Negan probably has too. I mean, controlling the Saviors is not an easy thing to do. So I'm sure Negan has had to fight, probably had people try to rise up against him. He's probably had to be hard to put together the Saviors anyway. So Negan's probably got almost as much experience, as Rick in the zombie apocalypse. Maybe more, you could even say, depending on his backstory, which we don't know that part of it, so it's hard to say. But with Rick having both hands, I think it's a close one-on-one. If you're going to give them each their hand-to-hand weapons, so you give Negan Lucille, you give Rick the hatchet, who wins that? I think with that, I got to go with Negan. Negan and Lucille versus Rick and the hatchet. Yeah, Rick is tough and everything, and, love Rick. He's pretty much my favorite character from the TV series, but I still got to go with Negan in that one-on-one with the hand weapons. If you're going to go with firearms, I think you got to go with Rick. If Rick's got the Colt and Negan's got, I don't know, assault rifle or whatever, just random weapon, I think I go with Rick with that just based on experience. So I'm pretty much saying if Negan's got Lucille and it doesn't come to firearms, then I'm going to go with Negan. Even hand-to-hands, no weapons, I think I'd still probably go with Negan, but it would be close, I think. And you could make a case for Rick because I do think Rick is very crafty. And even in the TV series version, Rick is he's very tricky. He's very cunning, right? He thinks of good ways to kind of beat others in that. So he's pretty crafty, even in the comics as well, too. But generally, I think I'd have to go with Negan. So that's my thoughts. You guys can write your comments below. What do you think? Who would win between Rick and Negan? Next one's from TrollSlayer, and he says, why is the episode Go-Getters getting so much hate, even though it's one of the best episodes of this season? So, yeah, it's a good question, and the ratings did go down again. They went to 11 million, so that's the lowest they've been for 3 years with the TV series. Now, that's tricky, to say why, but, this is a different type of season. We haven't really seen a season like this before. It's almost like a fully new story, kind of. Like, you have all the characters carrying through, but with the death of, spoiler warning, Glenn and Abraham in the premiere, it's like they're starting a whole new section to The Walking Dead. And it even feels different with regards to scale because you have all these different communities, you have all this different stuff happening, the story's being told from different vantage points that we're not used to, and, it's kind of just getting started with a whole new section of The Walking Dead. So it's still a lot of fun. I still enjoy it quite a bit, but definitely I can say it's not my favorite half season ever, like I said in the recent Q&A yesterday. But I do think it's still really good stuff. It's still really good quality, and it's just kind of where they're deciding to go with it. Not every season is going to be like season 5 or season 6. you're going to have halves that might be more like the first half of season 4, something like that, where it's a little bit different in terms of the feel and the show reinventing itself. Like Gimple has said many times, every half it reinvents itself and it's a bit different, and that helps keep it fresh. And certainly this season feels fresh and different from other seasons, but yeah, it's not as action-packed, it's not as intense, it's not as horrific as some of the other parts. The premiere is, of course, but yeah, it's just totally different. So I don't know. I mean, you know, Forbes saying that Go-Getters is the worst episode ever. I couldn't disagree with that more. I definitely think there are far worse episodes of The Walking Dead, and that it's not the worst episode ever. I think maybe it's just because the style that the episodes have been since the premiere, you know, episodes 2 through now 5, different, quite a bit different. So that's 4 straight that people may not like, and it might be 5 straight after episode 6 this weekend, to be honest. We'll see how that goes, but yeah. Paul Phillips says, you're only picking season 6 because it's the newest. Well, it's not the newest, Paul. Season 7 first half is the newest now. But, you know, I decided I'd include this in here because I do hear what you're saying, Paul, with new bias, but I do seriously think, and I'm not kidding you here, I do think that they put more effort into season 6, I think, than any prior season. If you look at the amount of zombies, if you look at the first half, if you look at kind of the fake death with Glenn and all the crazy stuff that happened, you know, you got Daryl on the bike and everything, and just the amount of zombies with him, No Way Out and how they adapted that, and I still think that's the best episode of The Walking Dead ever. I'm not saying that just because it's new. I just thought it was, you know, because a zombie apocalypse story, zombie apocalypse movie, we've never seen anything like that to that scale where the survivors stand up to them and actually start slashing the zombies. So I thought personally that was just incredible. And leading into the finale with Negan showing up was really exciting as well too. Getting to see Negan for the first time was something I was really looking forward to. So for me, season 6 is probably the best season ever, but a lot of people like season 5 the best, and everybody's got different tastes. I'm not picking season 6 just because it's the latest. I'm picking it as my favorite because I really do feel like they put more effort into that season than maybe any other they've ever done. Either that or season 5. This season, I don't think they've put as much effort as they did. Granted, you could look at things like maybe the CG with Shiva, the tiger, costing more money, because CG is very expensive. So you could look at maybe some of the budget went to that. The different locations are expensive to get, right? So that could be part of the reason why. I'm not sure. Maybe just the amount of actors involved. JDM's probably pretty pricey, so I don't know. Maybe it's a budget thing that they haven't included too much else, or maybe they just feel like this is the way the story would naturally flow. Zazman Reviews says, hey, Trev, in the Walking Dead intro, when Alana Masterson's Tara name comes up, there's an overturned boat. What do you think is the significance of that? Will we find out in episode 6? Yeah, I think so, because there's another sneak peek from Talking Dead, right, with her in it. And maybe her and Heath will have to you know, get into a small boat or something, because they're kind of going in a different direction that they haven't really gone that far out before. They haven't found anything from the sneak peek that they said in the camper that they're in. So we'll see if they have to do something like that and kind of go out on the water or something. We'll see how that all works out. But, yeah, I think it's going to be significant. I think that they're going to find something, and it'd be good if they could find some guns to bring back or something. Maybe some new allies or something against Negan. That'd be cool. So we'll see what happens with it, or villains. Either way, it should be a good episode. It looks like there's at least going to be a good number of walkers, zombies, so I always appreciate that. Zombie apocalypse show. Want to have zombies for sure. Next question is from Broken Baskets. And he says, yo, Trav, if you were given a role in The Walking Dead, what would you want to be cast as? Number 1, a walker. Number 2, a villain. Number 3, an extra. Or number 4, a very important person. I think I would want to be a villain. That would be fun to play a villain, especially if I got to be like one of the saviors or something. That'd be really cool. Next question is from Diamond Unicorn 1983. Do you think episode 8 will be the Spencer-led revolt against Rick, and will we get to see the gory results? I think so, Diamond. I think that's what we're going to see. So that's what I'm predicting anyway. We'll see if it's true or not. Alex for LOL says, hey Trav, I have a question for you. I'm kind of disappointed by the physicality of the two of The Walking Dead's actors, Negan and Jesus. Negan is too skinny. In the comics, he weighs like 70 pounds more than JDM. JDM isn't physically threatening, so JDM better start eating like 2 kegs of protein powder a day. Jesus might be even worse. I love Tom Payne's acting, same as JDM. They both do a great job in terms of acting-wise, but he's too short and he's too skinny. In the comics, Jesus is tall and buff, but in the show he's like 5'6". But I would guess I would be satisfied if Tom Payne bulked up a bit. What I'm trying to say is that Tom Payne and JDM need to start hitting the gym. What's your opinion? Well, I mean, you know, it's JDM is older now, right? So it's not that easy for him, even if he did. It's true. It's definitely a criticism, I think, if you compare the comics version to the TV series. But one thing about Jesus I hadn't thought about. You're right, he is too short, and I called that out when he was cast for it. But one thing that is good about him being short is if he's sneaking in and out of places, and he's really sneaky, and he's climbing up on stuff, being small like that would make him really hard to detect, would make him really tricky, right? So you could definitely see with the TV series version that they can kind of add the sneakiness appeal if he's like this 5'6" Spider-Man type character, you know. So I think it actually has worked out okay for him. JDM, I mean, he's got the smile, he's got other things about him that are just uncanny, you know, in terms of him being able to play Negan. He's got so much experience and everything. So I think, you know, it'd be cool to see somebody who looks like those characters from the comics, and sometimes it bothers me too. But I mean, ultimately, do you want somebody who's going to be great at acting and is going to be able to do the parts and everything and make it seem really, you know, real, or do you want somebody who looks exactly like them but maybe is not as good of an actor or has other things that are lacking? It's always going to be hard. You're probably never going to find somebody who's perfect for it, right? No matter what. It's just what it is. Frank Barker says, Daryl versus Jesus. Trev, who do you think would win? That's a really tough one based on size and everything. I think I go with Daryl mostly, but we did get to see that Jesus, with his trickiness, was able to get to the gun there in the second half of season 6, if you remember, in the there was like a truck a truck type of thing. So yeah, I mean, he is tricky, but I think I'd have to go with Daryl generally. And the last one will be kind of a comment from Bucket of Eyeballs, and he says, "Please, Trev, Fear the Walking Dead, don't forget. We realize you're busy, but could you at least, could we stretch you a bit to try and do one more Fear video soon? We have to keep the show in the mainstream, man. It's our fallback for Walking Dead in the off-season and has earned its place in the halls of the Walking Dead universe, so let's not forget about the show because it's an effing great zombie cousin of our beloved Walking Dead." And yeah, no, I don't really have anything for you for Fear right now because, of course, Walking Dead is going strong. But don't worry, when Fear comes back on, and even before it does, we'll make lots of videos and talk about Fear and get back into it again. I enjoy the hell out of it with you guys. I really do. So I don't have a release date for Season 2 of Fear on Blu-ray yet. Last year, Season 1 was released, so I'm looking for that. And once it gets announced, I'll let you guys know, and I'll probably pick it up, maybe do a review of it. Because I really do like Fear a lot. It's great, and I think this first half of Season 7 has really showed that, you know, Fear really is not that bad. For people who are like, oh, it sucks, this kind of thing. You know, The Walking Dead isn't always guns a-blazing and everything either, too, right? Season 6 was incredible, Season 5 was incredible, but I thought Fear Season 2's finale was pretty awesome, and it's comparable, at least to a degree, to Walking Dead, I think. Now, Walking Dead's still better, I think, but I think that this season has kind of shown that Fear really is not that bad. You know, it's not that bad. And the last one will be from JB NF. Actually, we'll add one more on. He says, "One thing I'm confused about, how will Rick's group fight back when they have no guns? What good are Eugene's bullets without something to fire them?" You're absolutely right. They're going to have to figure that out. So either they buried some, they've got some in a different location or something that Negan didn't get, or maybe Tara and Heath can bring a bunch back. Maybe Carol and Morgan can bring a bunch back. We'll have to see, but they're not going to be able to fight against the Saviors without a lot of firepower and a lot of manpower, and they don't have enough of either right now, that's for sure. So they're not in any position to fight back right now at all, pretty much. And that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. If you liked it as usual, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can also share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left is subscribe. Keep sending me the questions, guys, and I'll have another video for you tomorrow as a result. That's it for this one. See you guys tomorrow. It's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.
You better subscribe.